go to all of the cover shoots. I was sick that day. I was
Oh man.
so sad that I couldn't be there, but tell us how it went. I think the photos turned out awesome.
I think they turned out pretty good considering the circumstances I was in. I was shooting another TV show, and I wrapped that night at like 4 in the morning. I didn't get home till 5, and then I had a press junket at like 9 a.m. So I had about 3 hours of sleep during
Oh
that
my.
photo shoot. So
You would never be able to tell. You look amazing.
yeah, so my brain was it was gel. It was just
Yeah,
shaking in
I
there.
get. Well, look, that's show business, right? That's such a hard part of it. Is sometimes you have these crazy hours and crazy long days, but you just
Oh
got to
yeah.
keep going. That's amazing. So thank you for that.
No,
Um,
I was, now I'm on the cover, so.
yes, it's awesome. It's very exciting, and it's so important for us at Teen Vogue to highlight awesome young rising talent like yourself. So we're very lucky and privileged to have made that happen. But tell us about the show for maybe some people in our comments who haven't seen it yet. Tell us about Colin in Black and White.
Well, first off, watch it,
Yes,
or else.
Netflix, y'all.
But no, it's the story of, a coming of age story of what it takes to take the punches of society. Of course, it's about Colin Kaepernick, so there's a little bit of a conversation there about racial injustice, social injustice, about what it means to be Black in America. But it's also you can watch a show if you don't want to know about that part of the politics. It's a very digestible show. It's about being a teenager and trying to find yourself.
So you're playing a young Colin Kaepernick, the teenage Colin Kaepernick as he's trying to find himself, both in terms of athletics and of course his racial identity. Which I think in our interview you actually talk a little bit about how you were kind of surprised that you related to the search as a biracial teenager and how that affects your own search for identity. If you can talk a little bit about that here.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm biracial as well. I'm Dominican though, Latino power. So,
Yes.
Colin is half white, half Black.
Yes.
And so I can assimilate to some of his disconnections or his sense of alienation in some situations, especially when you're in the entertainment industry. And quite frankly, it is a white industry. So, it's, you can feel, I can feel the similarities between the sports world and those sort of that anxiety and that conflict and how that can relate to the entertainment business. So for me, it was fun playing Colin because it was like an internal search of myself as well. Like I was learning about Colin, and I was also learning about myself. I was learning to respect myself more. I was learning to love my Blackness more. And I was learning to, you know, understand some of the iniquities in our society.
Yeah, that's awesome. And he's very involved in the show, right? He's part of it. So what was it like working with him or just like learning from him? Is it awkward when you're playing a real life person and
Oh
you're
yeah,
acting, but they're real, right?
oh yeah, is difficult. I mean, for one, the person is alive, right? So, everything you do, you have to master it. If you're going to do his mannerisms, you have to master it. If you're going to do his body language, you have to master it. If you want to do his accent, you have to master it, and his football and whatnot. And what made it more difficult is that, especially when you're doing when you're doing biopics, usually, like if you're doing the Jackie Robinson story or the James Brown story, we are seeing an interpretation of that person. We're not seeing the actual version, right? We're not seeing, the audience isn't able to contrast the actor and the real life version. But because Colin is in the show and because he's like right there with us,
Yeah.
your work has to be there. You have to match his authenticity.
Yeah.
So that was part of why it was scary. But also he's my boss, so I think I said this already. He can fire me. So
Well, what were some of your conversations like? Did you feel like you were just hearing about his childhood from his perspective as you tried to prepare for the role, or the research like?
he was funny. He's so funny. I don't know why. Like yeah, I never expected him to be like a comedian.
That's
So it
awesome.
was,
I love that.
yeah, he provided a lot of insight and a lot of really good tips about like, you know, growing up, but he was also just like a really awesome guy. So it's nice meeting him. But my research was intense. I wanted to be authentic to like his sports side and whatnot. So I was like doing workouts every day, doing drills, doing everything, just trying to really get to a place where I could pass on an athletic ability because I never played team sports growing up. Um, but it was rough. And then I also tried to get his dialect down. It's actually a really cool history and a very, very specific voice. So it was hard to master, but it was so worth it. I think it comes across a little nuances.
So are you more confident in your athletic skills now after doing all of that?
That's fine. No.
You're gonna stick with acting.
Yes, I actually the last movie I worked on, it was called Vampires versus the Bronx, and I did it with Gregory Diaz, and
Oh,
uh,
awesome. We love him.
yeah, he's awesome. So us three kids, we all we were like, oh, sorry, Method Man is in the movie. And so one of the days we knew Method Man was going to be there, and we were like, you know what? Let's write a rap, and we're going to perform for Method. And he's going to sign us this label. We're going to be like, we're going to be the next, like, Wu-Tang. We were getting so hyped. And we were really committed to it. And I thought I had some pretty good bars. Um, I was like, stop moaning and groaning because your mom left you on a stoop early in the morning. Even back then, she knew you was an imbecile. Best believe we gonna get you on the lyrical. I'm a lyrical criminal. I don't forget what it was. Anyway, we finished that, and Method Man told us to keep our day jobs. So, so I don't think I'm gonna be a rapper anytime soon.
Well, I applaud the effort. It sounds like it was pretty good. And I got the chance to meet Greg Diaz at our Teen Vogue 18th birthday party we had a couple of weeks ago. And I told him I'm such a big fan of In the Heights. I thought he was so awesome in it. Of course, his raps in it are amazing. So I bet that was a pretty good duo together there. I could see that.
No, yeah, I was actually not able to go to that party. I remember I was working until
Yes,
like
you're a
five
busy
o'clock
man.
in the morning.
You're a busy man. So you've actually been in the entertainment or modeling industry since you were very, very young, right? And this was one of the interesting things I learned from the story. Like you never actually had like a traditional high school experience. So
I
doing filming the show was
First
the
time I
first time.
was ever in a school was on set. I'd never been to a school before.
And what was that like for you? Did you have like FOMO where you're like, oh, this is what it's like? Or, what did it feel like?
I remember doing the first scene of the show. No, the second scene of the show when I'm walking with the little boy down the hall. Um, I closed the locker the first time and I just walked away. And Ava was like, "No, no, no, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm closing the locker." She's like, "No, you have to change your lock." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What? They don't do that at Disney Channel." I like perceived the rest of like society through Disney and through Nickelodeon, like trying to figure out like how high school was and how middle school was through TV, and sometimes they weren't authentic.
Yeah,
So
not exactly, not exactly. If you're just tuning in, here with our November December cover star Jaden Michael, who is so good in Colin in Black and White. I feel like we've got so many fans in the comments, so people are clearly watching the show. If you haven't, it's out on Netflix now. But some of the people are asking about your middle school experience too. So what have you done? Have you just been homeschooled, or you've been doing schooling on set? Sounds like people are curious about that.
um all right, so middle school, so I was in a normal school from kindergarten to like halfway through second grade, and then my mom started homeschooling me for a little bit, and then in middle school I was on an online curriculum, and I've been doing online ever since. So I was doing online way before COVID. I'm a senior now, and I've been with the same school for a few years now, and it's great. I mean, I get like the ability to actually like do what I want to do and be an actor and whatnot, and get to auditions and stuff.
Yeah.
They're really supportive too. Like right now, I'm behind on like 30 assignments. And they're
Oh,
like super good about it. So you know.
yeah. Yeah. That's good. They got to be understanding. You got to be flexible with it. So that's
Yeah,
part of it too.
yeah.
But also for people watching, if you've got questions for Jaden, please drop them in the comments. I'm keeping an eye on it, and we can get to some of those too. But getting back,
I saw a question about a show I recently did called Shelter. Can I talk about that?
yes, absolutely,
All right,
please.
cool. So I don't know if you guys know the the book Shelter by Harlan Coben. It's a novel. It's a mystery novel, young adult mystery novel, and I play Mickey Bolitar, who's the main character. His parents are like these not world leaders, but they do work across the world. But he's a really good basketball player. And so like his whole life, he's wanted to be a basketball player and sit down in one city, one state and do basketball. And finally his parents drop their jobs so that they can let him pursue his career, and they die. And
Oh,
so
wow.
he has to move to this completely foreign place, which is United States, ironically. And he's trying to reconnect with the side of his family he's always been told to not be close to. It's sort of a tragic love story. And I won't tell you anything else, but it's a great show, and I'm very excited because it's Latinx led. I just feel like if we don't get enough opportunities to tell our true stories, so
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
Sorry, is it out yet or is it coming out?
No, it's coming
Okay.
out. I just
Okay.
did the Shelter,
Oh,
the
amazing.
pilot. Sorry.
Oh, amazing. Well, that sounds great. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. Somebody else asked what age you actually started acting at.
3.
3.
Yeah, I don't count it. I was doing like commercials and like little stuff like that, so I don't count it.
Yeah.
I didn't actually like become completely invested in like acting and like like just go full time with it really until like 7 or 8. That's when I kind of fell in love.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I wanna reference one of the anecdotes that you talked about in the interview because I think it's so amazing. My favorite anecdote is when you tell a story about a man in the props department on Colin in Black and White who came up to you and told you that you actually changed his perspective or helped him understand Colin's politics and his protests. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Um, yeah, it was probably one of the most satisfying experiences I've had like in my career, because that's what you do movies for, right? You do them so you can make someone feel an energy, make someone feel something, or possibly change their emotions, right? And to know that I had the ability to change someone's perspective on something that we are so stubborn about, politics, was really meaningful to me. And so yeah, it was the last day of set. um, Props department, amazing guy. He was super helpful, and it was an amazing experience working with him. And he comes up to me and he says, Jaden, I just have to say that it was so incredible watching you on screen and seeing the story from your view and like through the lens, because I was seriously debating not taking the job because I don't agree with Colin and his politics. I didn't understand it, and I couldn't assimilate to it. And he said, through your vision and through Ava's vision and through the lens, I have completely changed my understanding. I completely understand what he stands for, and I agree with it. And I'm a supporter. And to me, it was like, oh my God, I did that. That's crazy.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. That's the most validating thing that you would want to hear. I can understand how meaningful that would be for you portraying this. And I'm curious actually, do you remember where you were when you like first heard about Colin's protest, or like do you remember that story when it actually happened a couple of years ago? I guess it was
Man,
5 years ago at this point.
I don't remember where I was.
Or just like your first kind of reaction of like hearing that this was becoming a thing, that this was a story, and also that it was controversial to some people.
Wow, I think that was my first reaction. I'd known a little bit about Colin
Yeah.
before that, only because of football. My family are huge sports people.
Okay.
So I knew a little bit about him because of that. But I think when I saw that someone was brave enough to speak about something so polarizing and so complicated, I kind of drew a lot of respect for him, because it's like, that takes guts. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And for a while, I thought I couldn't do that. Before taking on the role, I was like, maybe not. Maybe I'm not prepared to handle this story, to tell this story authentically. But I did it, so.
Yeah, you did it. You did it, and you did it well. And it sounds like the reception has been pretty overwhelmingly positive.
There's a few people who like it, I guess.
Yeah,
So.
there's a few people who like it. That's good. I mean, it's like you said, it certainly took and continues to take guts from Colin to do what he does. It also takes guts to step into a role like this. So you did have maybe a little bit of worry ahead of time, but ultimately you decided to take it.
Yeah, I talk way too much.
Not at all. Not at all. So I guess that was going to be one of my questions, if you had any hesitation about taking it on, but you kind of addressed that already. After filming wrapped, Ava DuVernay says again in her story that she recalled a moment asking
I
you
do
whether
still
you...
talk to Crystal. Sorry, somebody asked me that question.
Yeah, oh, there you go. You still talk to Crystal. I mean, some people are just asking about how it was to work with Ava in general, so happy for you to talk about that.
Ava's awesome. Ava's a queen. I have no other words. She's amazing, and she's completely changed me. She's so supportive and helpful and honest. It's great. I mean, like, for example, I actually was just on a call with someone at Juilliard, because that's one of the schools I want to go to, and she's like been helping me go through the process, which is awesome.
That is awesome. Well, good luck. I think they should definitely accept you just based on even this one show, but certainly you've got a pretty accomplished career so far already for being 18. So it's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's more to do. More
to do.
More
You're
work
ready.
to go.
You're ready for more school. For, and your response was, "I got close."
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
My whole life, everyone around me has been telling me that I'm pretty hard on myself. So I guess they're right. I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in my ability in that way, I guess. I don't think I'm that great, and I hate watching myself. But I like telling stories. I'm in love with telling stories. So regardless of how bad I am, I like to tell stories. So
I love it. I love it. Okay, two quick things. Somebody else asked in the comments if there's going to be a second part. I don't know if we have any info on that yet.
I tried to say something about that, but it got mad at me last time. But no, it's a limited series, so there is only one season, unfortunately.
Well, then you should definitely watch it, people, if you haven't watched it yet.
They'll do Jaden in brown and white next time.
There you go. There you go. That's right. And the last thing I'll point out from the comments is that somebody said you would make the perfect Miles Morales, which I completely agree. I'm like, oh man, I didn't even think of that, but you would. Would you ever want to play him?
I'm waiting for Sony to call, please.
Yes, Sony, please do it. We've got the Teen Vogue audience right here, ready to make it happen. Excited for you.
I should make a petition. I never even thought about that.
Do it. Look, people are in the comments. They're saying you're the perfect person.
Oh,
yes.
Hold on. I think I'm going to write a petition. All right. That's good. That's a good idea.
Let's start it. We need to get this going. Let's get the social media campaign going. I love this.
Yes. Yeah. I think literally, I'm born and raised in New York City. I'm not Puerto Rican, but I'm Latin descent and Black descent. Yes. I am. That's it.
I think it works. I think it works. You've got the creativity. I think, oh man, it'd be so exciting. I love that.
Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead. No.
No, nothing. I
I
don't
was
know.
just
Does
gonna
anyone else
say,
have a question? Like really lighthearted.
yeah. Well, I did see somebody ask a couple times if you
¿Cuál
had a
es tu signo
Zodiacal.
zodiacal? Oh my God, I can't speak Spanish anymore. I am a Libra, una Libra. I am like the balance. That's all I know. People ask me what my rising is. I'm just like,
I never know. I'm a Taurus. People ask me the same thing. I'm like, I don't know. I know I'm a Taurus. That's it. That's all I know.
Funnily enough, though, I do like using astrology, at least for like basic character building, because it gives you a good idea of like, you know, what kind of emotions you might feel, you know, even if it's not always true. It gives you a good idea of like where to start your opinions off of, or base your emotions off of. So like I'll start by like thinking about what is my character's birthday, and based off of that birthday, what sign is he and how does that relate to how he thinks. And then for Colin, I did the same thing because it was just, you know, practice and repetition. I was like second nature. And I realized like halfway through it, I was like, wait a second, he has a birthday. He already has a birthday. Why am I doing this? And I chose Scorpio prior to checking what his was. And then I checked it and it was Scorpio. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy that was actually aligned. And then his Chinese lucky numbers are 7. That's his number in the NFL, or was his number in the NFL. And then his other lucky numbers were 8 and 24. And the day he knelt and it was publicized, no, the first day he knelt was August 24th.
I remember that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love the connection.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was freaking out. I had goosebumps. I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy.
Yeah, meant to be. Somebody else asked if you have a favorite scene that you filmed and why.
Oh, my favorite scene isn't in the show.
Oh, what?
Yeah. How do you find your lucky numbers? There's a website. You put in your birthday, and then it tells you your Chinese lucky numbers. Sorry. What was I saying?
Your favorite scene?
No,
my favorite scene. Yes,
favorite scene. That's
my
not
favorite
in the show.
scene is gone from the show. It is a scene in the last episode where Colin is really frustrated because he's not getting all of the accolades that he wished he would get, like from the schools and whatnot. And he's kind of down and out, and his parents sort of support him. His dad gives him a pep talk, and I don't know, it was a really beautiful scene. I really liked it, but it's gone.
Do you know why they cut it? Were you able to ask?
No, I asked Ava. She was like, oh, I don't know why we took it out. I was like, but no, it was, I really liked it.
You've got a lot of fans in Brazil, I'm noticing from the comments.
I did. I'm like, that's so strange. I love it. I love, but I never expected that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. At least one person watching does not know, but thank you for watching anyway. We're talking about Colin in black and white, if you don't know.
Nigeria, that's so cool. Nigeria, Brazil, what are the flags? I want to know where you guys are from.
Well, I see Nigeria, I saw England, I saw Portugal. It's all over. But you said you grew up in New York. Did you grow up in the Bronx?
No, I didn't. I grew up in Harlem.
You grew up in Harlem.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Virginia has a flag.
There you go. Yeah, a lot of Mexico.
How do I feel about playing a villain? I do think that's a good idea. I'm thinking about doing a villain role. I don't think I've played a villain before, but it wasn't like a lead role. It was like a smaller role. But I think villains are really cool. I think villains are harder than playing protagonists from an acting perspective.
Yeah.
From like the whole thing, protagonists are definitely harder. But like at least from an acting perspective, it's harder to break down your character as a villain.
Yeah. Well, Jaden, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us on a Wednesday evening. Any final word? Oh, this is actually a good question to end on. Do you have a dream role?
Miles.
It's Miles?
No.
We're doing it.
Miles is up there, but
was that you or somebody behind the camera?
This is not me.
What
Um,
flag was it? I didn't even see.
it was a Dominican flag.
There you go. Yes.
Je parlais un peu de le français, just a little bit. My dream role is like playing a serial killer, really. Like playing like a crazy maniac. That's my dream role.
Was not expecting that answer, honestly.
Sorry, my apologies.
That's all right. I'm sure you'll have the opportunity. I'm sure it will come.
Belgium. Oh my God. I wish I knew any of
They
the
speak
languages.
French in Belgium too.
Well, a little bit. No, I went to France one time, and my mom kept on trying to convince me to relearn French because I used to speak it, but because I just didn't have enough French people around, I kind of forgot it. And so my mom was like begging me to relearn French. So when I went there, I would like be able to conversate a little bit. And I got there, and I was so pissed that I didn't take my mom's advice, and I was dying to talk with people, and I found that I could understand everything they were saying in French, but I just couldn't speak it. So I started talking to them in Spanish, and because I was in the south of France, they could understand my Spanish, and so we would talk. I would talk in Spanish, and they would talk in French. That was.
I think a lot of people in the comments are excited about that though. They're like, "Will you speak French? Will you speak more French?"
Oh,
Get
bonjour. I don't know, what do you want me to say?
That's good.
Baguettes, crouton,
Crepe.
croissant.
Tell a crepe.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, this is again, you've got such amazing.
Oh, ¿puedo hablar en español? Bueno, ¿quiere hablar en español o en dominicano? Porque esos son dos diferentes cosas. Porque, you know, if I'm doing DR, that's a whole different vibe.
That's a whole. Do you still have family there? Have you been there?
Yes. So mi abuela todavía vive in New York. My grandmother still lives in New York, and most of her side of the family. But my grandfather, basically all of his family still lives in DR. So casi cada año, almost every year, I like to go. Siri's screaming at me. My apologies. No, I like to go every year and see him. He has a ranch out in El Campo in the countryside, and I love it. I love it. It's just grass and quiet and crickets. My mom hates it. When we went, and I don't know why my mom would do this. Before we flew out to DR, she painted her nails with glow-in-the-dark paint.
Okay.
So when we went to DR, and we would go to bed, because we were in the campo, there were so many mosquitoes, they would all go to her nails. And so the mosquitoes were attacking her at night, and she couldn't sleep.
Oh my God, that's the worst.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that would be
bilingualism. That's funny. I know technically 3 languages. I know ASL, although I've also kind of forgotten that. But I also speak Spanish and English, and I'm not really English. I'm very bad at it.
Your Brazilian fans are ready to teach you Portuguese. So
whenever I love Portuguese. One of my favorite kind of music to listen to is like samba. I love samba. It's great. Do I like Little Uzi? He's Uzi's all right. I prefer Playboy Cardi, honestly. But I like underground hip hop, if anything, like Arm & Hammer, Navy Blue, stuff like that.
Favorite Dominican food? Somebody asked.
Oh no! Don't get me started. Everything. I love lobster, langosta. It's delicious. I love. Dominican food. What am I talking about? Churrasco is great. Concon, I love concon. Tres golpe is great. Sancocho, my grandmother makes a pretty good sancocho. And moro, she makes amazing moro. Funnily enough, she makes really good turkey for like Thanksgiving. Never would have expected that, but it's really good.
Are you going to be able to get Thanksgiving off? I hope you're not working through the holiday.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, are you going to be able to celebrate Thanksgiving with your family?
I hope. I have like 30 missing assignments, so I'm hoping things calm down so I can focus on that stuff.
You got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but I like being busy. It keeps my brain from thinking about other things. So
Any final thoughts for our viewers, or as we wrap up? I mean, one of the final questions was just kind of like your own experiences with racism or portraying racism on the show, and just what that means to people.
Oh, I think the live is like delayed or something. Can you hear me still?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you. You were like gone for a second.
Oh, maybe it's just a glitch. Do you have, actually, let me get back to the comment questions. Do you have a favorite actor or actress that you want to work with?
That I want to work with, Lakeith Stanfield is one of my favorites. Harrison Jr. is also one of my favorites. Trying to think of who else. I like a lot of older actors, and by older I mean no longer with us actors.
Yeah.
But oh yes, America Ferrera is awesome. She's great. Man, my brain just completely blanked. I can't think of anyone else. Oh, RJ Seiler. Is that his name? Yeah, RJ Seiler. He's great.
Denzel Washington.
Did I see the new Spider-Man trailer? I'm so close. I saw like parts of it. I'm really excited for it. I've always loved Spider-Man because like he's New York. He's New York.
Exactly. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man from Queens. That's our boy.
From Queens.
All right. Somebody who's been commenting the whole time just wants you to say hi, Sarah, if you are up for it.
Hello, Sarah.
There you
go. Hi,
Sarah. Yes, we're all going to join the social media campaign to cast you for Miles Morales. Absolutely.
I'm gonna write a petition and post it.
That's how we're gonna end this. Please, if you haven't checked out the story yet, check it out on teenvogue.com. It's an amazing photo shoot, an amazing interview. Watch Colin in Black and White on Netflix if you haven't yet. Watch it again if you already have. Jaden, thank you so much for joining us. This was awesome.
Thank you guys. I really enjoyed it. I have to take a DBQ right now.
Good luck. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you guys. It was a pleasure meeting you. Have a good night.
Thanks. Bye, Jaden. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.